All right, welcome everybody. It is a Friday night. Here we are, one more time into the brink, and we are here for HWR's Four Corner Rants, and we got a bunch of topics going on tonight. But before I do that, I'm not going to dilly dally. We're going to go into this, and we're going to jump right into it. Let me introduce the hardcore crew to us joining us right now tonight. It is, first of all, he is the incomparable one, the one with the great Christmas jingle on his channel, Lance Moss TV on YouTube. He is Lance Moss.
Well, I've got a cold and I've got alcohol, so it's a win-win.
There you go. And he is the warden of our little insane asylum. He's the one that tries to keep us in place. He is Rick Head. Rick, Merry late Christmas to both of you too.
Thank you, likewise. But I'm sorry, Joe. I how am I supposed to keep the sound together when I'm stunned out on my fucking mind?
We didn't say you did a good job of keeping it together.
Fair point. Fair point. All right, let's get to it.
All right. Here we are. WWE making a botch show on the WWE network. Now, WWE will be making a botch show on the network, and it's starting to block similar botch shows. WWE already has blocked one show called the Botch Club. While there is, while there's nothing confirmed, it could be the end of more popular bot series like Botchamania. There's also WrestleLamia, and there's other videos and other type shows similar to that on YouTube, Rick. It's kind of like controlling free speech. I think it's gonna be kind of really boring if you have one major thing like WWE controlling everything,
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that they're going to be doing their own, bot shows, they're only going to see the ones that obviously people know. They're not going to see the really, oh my god, how could you be so stupid and let that happen? Botchamania guys, it's comical, and they throw in that little comical twist. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Yeah,
But, again, just quick, it's not in free speech, but unfortunately WWE does have that legal right, because if they're doing the video, it's their content. That's why even we got flagged, because we were doing those opening little logos, and WWE all of a sudden is now, I don't know, they're just getting fucking,
they're getting a little bit aggressive and trying to control everything. Here's the problem with that, Lance.
Anal Retento finally came to mind.
Yes, when you do stuff like this, I'm sorry, but what happens is you're dulling your own product, because it's these other little shows that make things, work. That's what's really funny. I watch the Botch Club. I've watched Botchamania. I've watched WrestleLamia. A lot of these programs, sometimes it's much better than the actual stuff that the WWE produces.
Oh, absolutely. Grant, I quit watching Botchamania about after the 15th damn time. They had to switch channels because, let's face it, WWE has been gunning for them for a while. But is this going to be on the network or YouTube?
Most likely on the network.
Yeah, this is a network show. Rick, I'm going to toss it real back to you before we move on. But we did have this conversation about the WWE limiting. They're going to be limited to some of the stuff they do, like their programs. And they're going to soon start running out of content. So this is going to be something that's going to be a hard-fought case for a lot of these people, because Star Trek is also going through this situation too, as well as Star Wars. I know there are two different entities, and they have nothing to do with wrestling, but the situation here is, it is basically when you have people that want to control all the content, it makes for stuff boring. Like Star Trek, for example, they have Star Trek Discovery, which is on, I forgot what, CBS, the app, and it's it's really horrible. And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. She is the Nightmare Vixen, our own little Southern Belle from Kentucky's Own Wrestling, Zoe Nightshade.
Hey, good to be back. Another Friday.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, real quick, Zoe, we were just been talking about WWE and how they're trying to shut down certain wrestling bot shows, and how they're really starting to get really anal retentive with how tight they are with other content, such as YouTube videos that have their audio video content. Before in the past they were like, but now they're really clamping down, and one has to wonder if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I mean, as far as that goes, it's probably a desperate thing because WWE has never had this many damn botches every single show. I mean, it's horrendous. I don't know what to make of it. Isn't it like if you post it on a public forum, then you're letting it, be used to share and all those other stuff?
Well, it's more of the audio and video content. To this day, so far right now, stills are allowed, and obviously free speech. You can tell WWE, sucks dick, and they're terrible, and every other thing in the world, But at the end of the day, when it comes to audio and video, right now they have full control.
Yeah.
I got you.
And it is unfortunate, but they want to control, just like Star Trek and Star Wars. Disney and CBS want to control everything, and what happens is it dulls your product. So, like I said, who knows? We'll see how well it goes. Here's something that just came up, and it's really, Rick, when you sent me the rundown, I saw this, I couldn't help but laugh. And I'm sure we're going to get other people that are going to laugh. Zack Ryder is not happy in the WWE. Zack Ryder took to Twitter where he talked about not being on Raw throughout 2018. He quotes, "I haven't had one match on Monday Night Raw in 2018 yet. One more Raw left." I'm going to toss it to Lance real quick, but first of all, I can say, I didn't even know he still was in the WWE.
Well, didn't he work Mania or something like that? But honestly, I'd be mad too because last I checked, he was on the Raw roster. So, and let's like it or not, he's a recognizable name. But yeah, I'd be mad too.
Again, it's weird, Zack Ryder hasn't been, I don't know, hell, he hasn't been done anything for such a long time, except for that one WrestleMania where he won the Intercontinental title and lost it the next night. Really, Rick, is he still relevant?
When it comes to jobber status, yeah, it's kind of like the Brooklyn Brawler, you know what I mean? Or the Repo Man. Anybody who watches wrestling, who has watched wrestling for more than 20 years, know that some of these really failed wrestlers, unfortunately, that went nowhere. And, the problem is with WWE is they have those mid-carders, which are really now low-carders. It's back in the 80s where you just had top guys, bottom guys, and a few jobbers. With WWE, there's really not a lot of jobbers.
Yep.
So, and I think the problem is they're hiring too much big names. When you have all those big names in one company, especially the biggest company, you're going to be happy when you first get there, but after a while, you're going to want out.
Yeah.
The term is being lost in the shuffle.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to you, Zoe. What do you think about this situation with Zack Ryder?
I mean, I feel for Zach. Honestly, I do, because I enjoy watching him work. He's very entertaining. He's very professional whenever he is in the ring as well. I hate this for him, but, he might want to get a hold of Cody Rhodes, just saying.
And be all in.
You know, that's a good possibility because
Yeah.
you know, another thing with Zack Ryder, he's got the look of a wrestler. He's got the build for a wrestler. Right now, he is just there is nothing for him currently right now. So who knows what can happen? Let's move on. This is a big topic here, and I will bring a little history with it. But first of all, it is WWE. Stephanie McMahon announced that they are bringing back the old women's tag team championship division. Since WWE had their first ever all women's event from Evolution, wrestling fans have been calling for a women's tag team division for some time. Even back in the 80s, then the WWF, now WWE, tried a women's tag division, but it failed miserably. However, with a more robust women's roster, it might work. Now, I actually dug this up, and it's kind of funny. I'm going to give you folks a little bit of history on the WWF Women's Tag Team Championship. The first champions was Velvet McIntyre and Princess Victoria. They both came together as a team from, you could say, the wrestling circuit, because back then it wasn't in an indie circuit, it was more territories. But they came together as the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, they already had belts. It was the NWA tag titles, women's titles. But WWE, however, decided, since they withdrew from the NWA, they decided to keep the titles and recognize them both as the first ever women's champions. Now, the list of champions haven't been great. It's been very short because, again, the women's division back in the 80s was not as strong as it is today. You have notable workers. You had like Medusa, Sherry, Wendy Richter, Leilani Kai, and a couple others. But let's face it, they were not as great as the girls today. The girls were women were more protected back then, and today they're actually more out in the forefront. So let me give you a quick rundown.
Oh yeah, the old women of old days, they were definitely held in the back locker rooms where Fabulous Moolah was pimping them out.
Hey, yeah. Trust me, I knew those
she
days.
Was, Joe. She was pimping them out. That's no lie.
There he is. Zoe, I think you need to do the introduction.
I sure will, with pleasure. The Uba of Westchester.
So you just gave him his Christmas gift.
I know.
And that is, of course, Johnny Person. The gang's all here except for Andy, who's probably chasing ghosts. But
probably chasing Fabulous Moolah right now.
Yeah, well, good luck.
And more Dixie Carter, but yeah.
You know, well, even back in our day, you know, the women wrestling wasn't as strong as it was. You know, women were the eye candy most of the time, and they were the locker room playgirls. You know, they were the ones that you just played around with. But before I go into that, let me give you a brief list of women's champions at the time. Again, Velvet McIntyre and Princess Victoria. They lost the titles to Velvet McIntyre, or it was switched from Velvet McIntyre to Desiree Peterson after Princess Victoria left. Then it went to the Glamour Girls, Leilani Kai and Judy Martin. And then it went to the Jumping Bomb Angels, Itsuki Yamasaki and Nioru Tenano. So they held the titles back and forth. And then the final women's tag champs were the Glamour Girls again. So this didn't have a lot of chances to expand given the time frame. And we're talking about Hulkamania, we're talking about the NWA in its prime. Territory wrestling was big, so this title wasn't around as big as it was. Now it is something that they can do big. They could really do big on. Rick, I'm getting a question from
Actually, hold on 1 second. There's a lot of background noise.
That's Johnny. He's
Yeah.
Ubering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's easy for him to like to mute and on and off. Because honestly, with all due respect, there's a lot of background noise.
Oh, he muted, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Well, when it comes to the women's tag team division, don't get me wrong. Today's rosters of the women definitely, may leaps and bounds to the to this day and age, but I don't think a tag team, unfortunately, is going to help them. What I would like to see is maybe do a tag team tournament for, like, let's say from Royal Rumble going to the WrestleMania where they have the finals. That's how I would book it. And I know a lot of people disagree with that, only because after about 5 or 6 months, we're going to see the same tag teams over and over again. We're going to see makeshift tag teams that last maybe 3 or 4 months. And again, this is not to be disrespectful or sexist, but I'm sorry, it doesn't work.
Well, I think, you know what, I'm going to be, and I agree with you, but I think in this day and age, what they have to do, which the Iron Reverend Jake Slayer says, they have to merge all the women's divisions. NXT.
Stupid Skype.
Yeah. NXT, SmackDown, and Raw, they need to put all those women together. A gut feeling, Lance, is the first champion's either going to be Sasha and Bailey, or it's going to be the Bellas.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be the Bellas, but God, why? But I'd rather it be Bailey and Sasha because they are actually workers and not models that want to be workers. But honestly, I was with you until you said that NXT should be brought into this for one reason. NXT, as much as I love it, that's still developmental. That's like saying AAA baseball, a team should compete in the World Series.
Well, actually, you know what? Let me. I want to answer to that. A lot of these women who have been coming to NXT, sure, there are a few of what you could call WWE cookie cutters, but a lot of these women have come to the Indies, and now they're trying to prove themselves in NXT. So I believe that some of these women should be called up. Actually, WWE's been doing a lot of call-ups over the next 2 to 3 months. So I'd like to see more women up from NXT.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, the more the merrier.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go talk to our resident woman wrestler, Zoe. What do you think about all this?
I'm telling you right now, I may be a woman and everything, but this is absolutely the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. There's not enough women. Well, listen, there's not enough women to be able to do this. They're going to be pulling people from NXT that's not ready to come up just to fill out a roster for a tag team champion in the women's division. It's dumb. It's stupid. I think it's just going to crash and burn.
Yeah, it's going to suffer the same fate as the original tag team champions. It's going to be limited to several teams, and we're going to see the same teams over and over. Bailey and Sasha, the Bellas, maybe the Riot Squad. Who knows? You're just going to see those.
The icons.
The Iconics.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I could see Naomi and Asuka winning it.
Yeah.
One time.
And after a while, there he is.
Joe, you got to understand that it's what's best right now to make money in the business since it's really tanking.
They're trying any damn thing they can.
I'll be honest, they're gonna make the money. They're gonna let it go as much as they can before they tank it.
Absolutely.
Let's be real. There's nothing else to watch. There's nothing else there. So you might as well put this together. Let's see how this goes. Let's make a couple of dollars out of it. We'll showcase a few TNA, get them the belts. When it's done, it's over. We'll all forget about it.
Yeah, and you know what?
And
go ahead, Zoe.
The sad thing about it is that when this actually fails and they stop doing this, all this work that these women have done to get more respect for the women in wrestling, it's going to go kaput. It's going to be a laughing stock all back over again. I have that feeling.
You know what, Zoe? I can agree with you on that. Absolutely 100%. But at the same time, it all comes down to one thing. What's best for business? Plain and simple. If this is what they think is best for business right now to make money, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. If they want to have a bunch of midgets come in and make midget champions again, guess what? They're going to do it.
If they do it, I'll be the first one on their list.
You mean like Sky Low Low and Little Tokyo and Little Mr. T?
Correct.
Lord Little Brick?
The second one on their list will be Wicked 133.
There we go.
My
yeah.
All right.
Didn't actually Hulk Hogan run one like a it's a midget pro wrestling or something like that?
Micro Championship Wrestling.
Oh, micro. Okay, so I knew there was something in there, but
they should have had the guys that did the Micro Machine commercials doing the commentary.
And I know there's a bit off subject, but I'm going to be honest with you. I saw some of those matches, and I'm like, wow, this match is actually better than WWE.
You know, me too.
Yeah, and it's bad when stuff like that happens. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the next topic. Pac turns down an offer to work the new All-In event. Now, before everybody starts thinking this is X-Pac, Sean Waltman, no, it's not. This is this Pac, P-A-C, is
Neville.
It's actually Neville. Thank you, Lance. And it says, on the latest edition of Talk is Jericho, Chris Jericho revealed that Pac, also known as Neville, turned down to work at an All-Elite Wrestling debut event. All-In event this past summer, Jericho stated the following. They tried to get him in to go all in, like over the top, and he wouldn't do it. He wanted to make his debut for Dragon Gate. First of all, this is my opinion. I'm going to put it out there. Neville, you're an idiot. Because Dragon Gate was not exactly, it's not like it's in the top tier. To be honest, hardly anybody knows about it. This All-In really turned heads so much that Vince wanted to hire the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes back. So that shows you how incredible this is. So I'm going to put it like this. Neville, it shows that you're an idiot when you were in WWE. It shows you're an idiot now. I would go work for All Elite Wrestling, get your name out, help that company grow. Lord knows we need a big, better company. Let's go to you. Let's go to you, Johnny. You know, we've been in the indie circuit before. You know, what do you think when a guy turns down an offer to be part of a new company and he chooses to stay with a smaller, well-established company?
He does probably want to lose the position he's in now. If he has a good position with that company, he's like, if I go here, I may not do well, and then if I come back, they're going to job me out, and this, that. So he's probably thinking for himself and himself only. You know, if I stay here, at least I got my position, I'll get this and that, X amount of dollars, yada, yada, yada. If I go to Elite, I'll get some money. I may not be as good, and I may not get the money I'm getting now later on in my career. So, I mean, it's kind of like, all right, you know, it is what it is. But the way I see it, if he's going to stay where he's at, let him stay. He wasn't that good anyway.
Yeah, the like I call him, he was like one of the elves from Lord of the Rings because of those ears. The way I also see it is, you know, the Reverend on HWR chat room on Facebook, the Iron Reverend Jake Slayer says Neville's attitude is almost as bad as Austin Aries' attitude. Rick, do you agree with that?
Yes and no. Obviously, I'm going to just refer to him as Neville. When he wasn't happy at WWE, he was 205 Lives. He was pretty much the face of that division, but that wasn't good enough because he wanted to highlight WrestleMania like John Cena. And unfortunately, he couldn't do that. So he's going out of this Dragon Gate because he wants to be the top guy. So if you go to a bottom place and be the top guy, that just shows you're really either really stupid or, unfortunately, your own self-esteem is cut you very short. You don't want to push yourself high. You know, even when you went into all Elite, to do something, to turn that down, you're a moron. When it comes to Austin Aries, same similarity. Yeah, he believes he should be a lot better than everybody else is, but when he takes a good offer, he takes it. So, again, there you go.
Absolutely.
Both have egos, but they both go different ways.
You know, and that, you know, he'd rather be the big fish in a little pond than be, you know, a competing fish in a big pond. So I don't know, you know, it's kind of bad. Also, he says the Bella's a sticky boom boom, Lance. We'll leave that alone. Let's go to you, Zoe. What do you think about this situation with Neville? Do you think he's making a mistake?
I do feel like he is definitely making a mistake because, like you guys had said, nobody really knows about Dragon Gate. And I kind of feel like the fact that he's turned down, you know, this offer whenever he realizes Dragon Gate's not going anywhere, you know, this offer is not going to be back on the table for him for the same amount of money that he could be making, or even at all, for that matter. I just, you know, I think it's a dumbass idea that he did.
All right, well, let's go to you, Lance Man.
Well, I believe this Dragon Gate company is a Japanese company. Now, which I might be thinking of the smaller company is Dragon Gate USA. Which that is the smaller company in this country. But I've also heard Neville say he wanted to work Japan. So.
Yeah, which is understandable. Japan is a good paying gig. I know even back when me and Johnny were in the wrestling scene, Japan was always a career thing we always wanted to do because it is one of the biggest.
The reason he got pissy in in 205. Do y'all remember who they wanted him to job to?
Enzo.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Pissy if we had to job to Enzo.
But you know what's ironic? If he had just, you know, stayed his place for like an extra 2 or 3 months, he would have been able to be the main guy again because
we got a charges.
Exactly, he was gone.
Yeah.
Well, they were looking for a reason. They found that it's just an excuse. Oh, sorry, I got to go.
Yeah, you know, and again, I just don't get it from these people today. Johnny, what do you think, real quick?
About what?
About Neville.
Again, bro, I mean, he is dumb not to take the offer for Elite. I mean, they're an up-and-coming company. They're so up-and-coming that McMahon wants to buy out the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes to get the organization to die out. I mean, when that happens, that you got to strike when the iron's hot. I think he's stupid for staying whatever that Dragon promotion, which I've never even heard of. I think it's stupid for him just to stay there.
Absolutely. You know, we're going to jump on another subject now. We're going to go to another Pac, and this time it is the X-Pac himself, Sean Waltman. X-Pac on if China should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. For years, one of the biggest questions is if Joni China Laura should be entered in the WWE's Hall of Fame. Sean X-Pac Waltman agreed with many that the 8th wonder of the world, should I say the 9th wonder of the world, because the 8th wonder of the world is Andre the Giant. The 9th wonder of the world should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, China did have a rocky relationship with not only Triple H, which we all famous for, know that he left for better pastures. What better way to move up in the world than sleep with the boss's daughter? And she also had a relationship with Pac, as if you ever seen from those videos that she's done. You know, and I'm gonna jump just quickly to to Zoe, because she is our resident women's wrestler. I was gonna say women's champion. Zoe, you got to get that belt.
I'm telling you, it's a coming. I hope
you're gonna have to.
She is the women's champion of HWR.
There you go.
There we go. Hell yeah. I mean, as far as this goes, I respect China, the character and everything. Does she deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? She's deserved that for a long ass time. I mean, she showed, hey, you can be a female wrestler and you don't have to be just gorgeous and brain dead. You can, be in good health. She needs to be in there. And as far as, I just want to touch on the relationship she had with X-Pac for a second. He is a little bastard. I don't know if you guys saw him on the TV show The Surreal Life whenever he and China were together.
Oh yeah.
It was bad.
jeez.
It was bad. He showed up and it just turned into this gigantic domestic dispute. He was just horrible to her and threatening to beat the hell out of her, and she had to be saved by Peter Brady of all people.
It was funny, because I've been a Pop mark for quite a long time. But
I used to love it.
loved that show too, and I was like, "Come on, Pop, come on!"
Exactly. But now, yes, China, she has deserved this for a very long time. I wish God WWE would get their finger, their thumb out of their ass and go ahead and put her in the Hall of Fame already. Same with Owen Hart.
Absolutely, and definitely two well-deserving people. China does belong in there. Owen Hart even more. But I fear they will not get in there, just like Chris Benoit will ever get in there. You know, it's just sad.
You know what? Here's the thing, Joe. When it's time for them to say, okay, well, we need to make some money, well, let's put Joni Lawler in there, because I know a lot of people were waiting and stuff like that, and they'll put her in there when it's time to make the money. It's always about money. I don't care who it is, what it is. I mean, Dynamite Kid may never go in there for at least another 15 years or whatever, but it's always about money.
You know what? And I gotta agree with you, and I'm gonna pass it over to Rick. When it comes to that, he makes a point. You know, whenever it's convenient for the WWE to make merch off of this, I think they will do that. So, what do you think?
As far as making merch, I'm not so much sure, but if you want to put a popular name in, like they did, I think it was 2 years ago with the Ultimate Warrior. Obviously, because he can sell, they can sell now merchandise. Where before, when they kind of went their own ways, Warrior would not even say no way, not no chance in hell. I don't know if I intended, but it was China. Unfortunately, she did die of being overdosed due to she was in deep depression. I'm not trying to talk down to her, but unfortunately, she had those issues. X-Pac. And, China also had a very rocky relationship. They were not only on the reality TV, but Vince Russo, who loves to stir the pot, had 1 minute he was talking to Joni, and next minute he was talking to X-Pac. Then he had him on a group call, and he just was looking for that huge mark by pushing them together and saying, okay, let it fly. But I do believe at the end of the day that China does belong in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Johnny.
You talk about rocky relationship with the company, Scott Hall in the Hall of Fame. Okay, who was it? Alondra Blaze, who fucking took the belt, threw it in the garbage in another company in the Hall of Fame. Okay, Jake the Snake Roberts, what in the Hall of Fame? Guys, when it comes to rocky relationships, it doesn't matter. It's all about the business.
Hell, isn't Eric Bischoff in it? The man that almost bankrupted the company.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So when it comes to rocky relationships, I don't think that even matters. Again,
and let's not forget
your money.
And let's not forget, Pac is Click.
Yes.
Lance doesn't have Triple H's ear.
Lance, you're gonna take over that because you just made a valid point. He is part of that little clique that they got, and no matter what, how they used to make fun of him getting drunk and all that, he's still part of that same clique. So. I'm gonna let you run with that. Go ahead.
Because let's face it, that's still one of Triple H's probably. I think he said like 5 brothers. So honestly, if anybody has a chance, it's either Nash, Hall, or Michaels, or Pac. One of those.
And they're all in the Hall of Fame right now as we speak.
Except for Pac, but yeah. But either way you cut it, those are still Triple H's probably 4 closest friends in the business.
Exactly.
So one of them has a lot of pull. But honestly, fuck Vince Russo for doing the shit he tried to pull. But also, I think that it will not surprise me come January, February, they announce, probably not January, February, April, or when's Mania?
April, first week of April.
Okay, so around mid-March this year, they announced Joni China Lauer going into the Hall of Fame as the postmortem inductee.
You know, and if they run out of people, that's probably what's going to happen. They're going to look for that click. They're going to just see how well it burns. They're going to have to see how much talk it goes around. If it gets a lot of reaction, then they'll bring it up. All right, let's go really to another topic now. Now that you know what? Before I go into the next topic, Rick, don't you think maybe before WrestleMania we should come up with our own Hall of Fame, like people who we feel should deserve going in there? Is that
absolutely?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, because it's a very simple fact. There are a lot of other wrestlers, great wrestlers, who have like done very little or nothing when it comes to like shady stuff, and they're not in. So one of the biggest ones that people have been trying to for years is the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah.
And to this day, for some reason, they continue to overlook him, even though the fans cry out. Now, WWE did the typical, "Oh, fans, it's up to you," and I'm like, "Really? You gonna say how many times did they say this?"
There's a Facebook page on Facebook with like 50,000 people on it. That it's called "Sign the Petition to Get Davey Boy Smith into the WWE Hall of Fame." Vince, Triple H, whoever's, because I know you bastards listen to this show sometimes, put Davey Boy Smith in the locker room. I mean, in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. So that would be a topic for us too.
Hey, Lance, you been hitting the ball a little too much tonight?
A little bit.
Don't be surprised. I think all of us will be, because this weekend, coming up, it is the new year. And
oh, yes, correct. I forgot about that.
Yeah, next
Short
week.
reaction.
Next week.
And my birthday.
Oh, there you go. And it's Zoe's birthday.
On the 2nd, anyway.
Again, it's something. But let's move on to the final topic of the night. It is John Cena makes his return. Let me finish. John Cena makes his He's scheduled to face Daniel Bryan in a cage match. Cena replaced AJ Styles due to Styles being out with the flu. Cena tweeted that he will be at several wrestling events throughout January. However, rumors claim that Cena might be missing out on the Royal Rumble due to his starting work on his latest movie, Playing with Fire, in late January. The 16-time WWE champion has mentioned in the past that he wants less in-ring work and focus on his acting career. This is the same man that criticized The Rock, Lance.
I was getting ready to say pot calling the kettle black there.
Son of a bitch.
Lance, tell us how you really feel, sweetie.
I hate that motherfucker. Y'all know this.
Come on, get it through the fruity pebbles. Come on.
Son of a bitch. Look here, if you don't want to work much, don't work much. The problem with let me finish, damn it. The problem with WWE saying, "Oh, we'll give the fans what we want," Vince still damn thinks we want John Boy. No, we want John Boy to go home. And I'm finished.
Let's go to you, Zoe. Let's hear that venom.
I'm trying to quit laughing. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, yeah, I agree with Lance. There.
My southern sister.
The South is rising again. I can see the pitchforks and torches right here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's not the only thing that's rising, Joe.
Well, you keep that. You keep that in neutral over there.
I didn't even say it this time.
She hasn't even said it over Westchester yet.
But I'm still thinking about it. You know what the hell, man? It's like still stuck in my head.
Oh, that's the highlight of this show. Go ahead, Zoe, one more time.
The Uber of Westchester.
You see? He said, get down. God damn it. Down, boy.
Pet that puppy. Okay. You know, I would say for this situation with John Cena, he should just be as a special guest that comes on, say hi to the fans, and stay out of the ring. It's time for other people to take over. So
Correct.
let's go to you, Johnny, and keep that horse down.
Anyway, here's the thing. When it comes to John Cena, he's still money. He just finished doing the Transformers movie. He's coming back. He's another Rock. He comes back. He brings money with him. So they're going to use him as much as they can to make that money because, again, as we all know, the company sucks.
Because of this cocksucker.
Exactly. But, again, John Cena's like the old Babe Ruth. He'll come out, wave his little hat, and fucking that, and people are going to love it. He'll put the hand across his face. You can't see me because I'm an old man and I can't see myself because of the cataracts and all that shit. People are still going to buy it.
Oh my God!
He's
Best moment ever.
Yeah, this is,
He's Geritol and Rogaine.
yeah. You know, and it is funny when you say that because it is true. You know, John Cena is just like, you know, the Hulk Hogan. You know, they're gonna make merchandise off of him. They're gonna do everything they can to make merchandise off of John Cena. And right now, you know, their A players are suffering from flus and injuries and so forth. So it's kind of unfortunate that they have to rely on him to come back. You know, I wish they would just do something else and bring somebody else back. You know, other
Or
people.
make him a star.
They're relying too much on him. There's so many others that need that damn push.
I agree. If they bought that guy with the Pepsi freaking symbol on his arm, who is that again?
That's that.
Oh,
that's that guy who keeps losing in MMA.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
about a half. But how about this? Instead of relying on decrepit, broken down John Boy, Vince, make somebody else.
Who else do they have?
Hey, you stop.
AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Dean, Seth, AJ.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well, you know what? I'm gonna disagree.
He's out getting treatment.
You know, I'm gonna disagree. We have already been force-fed the Shield members. We've been AJ, a phenomenal worker, but you know, just like in WWE right now, he's been there, he's done it. It's time for other people to start snagging. This is what happens in wrestling when you have guys who win the belt multiple times, and they're so focused on this. Then, unfortunately, what happens is everybody's going to lose interest because how many times are you going to see the same guy win the belt, lose the belt, win the belt?
You know what? Hell, how about giving, since we talked about him earlier, giving Zack Ryder a decent storyline?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can agree to that.
I'm not saying put the world strap on him, but hey, the fans seem to dig him. He got himself over with the Internet Championship. How about giving the bastard a decent storyline?
Well, you know
Hell,
what?
give Elias a good ass push.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's, you know, I'm gonna say this. I love Elias. I think he's like, to me, he's like the next Macho Man, Randy Savage. But the problem here is he's stuck on his gimmick, and he's the guitar guy. He's like a modern honky tonk man. You know,
That can actually play.
Yeah, that can actually play and wrestle damn really great. But you know, you could see his gimmick ties him down. You know what? Before we go, and let's hear it from Rick, because we've been all jumping back and forth. Rick?
Well, I don't even know where we started. We've like been ranting back and forth.
That's why it's called Four Corner Rants. You got to get in.
Yeah, exactly. Because by the time you're done, I'm like, okay. Not to mention I'm just going out of my mind. That's not helping matters. But through the next. Well, let's start with Cena because that was the topic. Cena actually said it on a show that he apologized and he realized he was being a hypocrite towards The Rock. But you know what, though? Cena's in his 40s. It's time for him to move on. Like Brock Lesnar, Yeah, he's got to come back and he's got to have the big spot. Why? Just like, Mr. Perez, Uber West just said simply this, is their money. AJ Styles is also money. His sales right now are skyrocketing. They're coming close to hitting John Cena's merch. So, he is the obvious one. Give him titles back and forth, yes. He just lost the title. I don't think he's going to be getting it back anytime soon. I think he's going to just do the chase for a while.
Yeah, they need the belt to move around. And again, how many times has AJ won it? Twice already?
Yeah, well, 2 times. But you know what, though? He beat John Cena 1, 2, 3 clean in the ring. What does that say about what the WWE is thinking about him as a player?
Absolutely.
Hashtag beat up John Cena.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. Well, you know what, fans? We're coming to the end of the show, but here is one thing, and I think, Rick, this is something that you've been posting up in the HWR chat room. This is the question of the HWR chat room, and I want you to bring it out there. Go ahead. Rick?
Well, sorry about that. A little technical error. The question is, if anybody could change one thing, just one, in the WWE, what would it be? Now, personally, my answer is less airtime, less pay-per-views, because less is more. WWE is shoving everything down our throat. Monday Night Raw has been dipping into like shit with the ratings because it's all the same matches. They're all, that extra third hour is literally you can fill up with promos and commercials and replays. They forgot that it's a wrestling show.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with. That's the only thing I would change too, and I agree. Less is more. Why did it work in the '80s? Because it was less was more. Why did it work in the '90s? Because there was not that many pay-per-views, and still they started feuding more and doing it. I like the concept of less is more. So you get my vote on that. Let's go to you, Johnny, real quick.
You know what? I can agree with Rick there. I would also like to put in smaller arenas. Much smaller arenas. Don't every week. Let's not keep going to the Gardens or to the Barclays and stuff like that. Let's go to smaller arenas. Oh shit! I lost signal.
No, you're still with Signal.
Okay, my signal. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. So you heard what I said.
Yep.
Smaller arenas.
Yep, and I agree with you. Right now their attendance is, while they're still not desperate for numbers like Impact, but you're noticing a huge dip in a lot of things. So again, we have to see what else comes up. But let's go to you, Zoe. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, less pay-per-views. How about more aggression? Because everybody's having to play happy, happy, joy, joy all throughout the damn night, except for certain one. Let's see. I would really like to see a lot more old school wrestling, not all of this over the top, chaotic shit that's going on that everybody keeps getting hurt doing. And new writers. A lot more new writers, more creative, and have Dean Ambrose wrestle on a thong, for the love of God.
I think it's more of a fetish for you there, Zoe.
Yeah,
I got you. You know what my sister-in-law got me for Christmas, you guys? She ordered from www.shop.com a cardboard cutout of Dean Ambrose, and he is in my living room.
Okay.
You know what, Lance?
Wait a second.
Sister.
Lance. Hey, Lance. She has a cardboard cutout in the living room and the real one in the closet.
That's right. I can't risk nothing.
The WWE should go back to Saudi Arabia and do a live decapitation and do one on Dean Ambrose.
Oh my God! I'm getting that. Okay, tell me where he is. Pull up Uber, because I'm going to whip that boy's ass and shove my size 6.5 boot sideways up his Rudy Poo candy ass.
All right, we're gonna move. She can tell she's kinky. That's why.
I might like that. Careful now.
Oh, God.
Well,
do you still have that shirt? Sticks and stones break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
I used to love that quote.
That's the best quote I ever heard in my life.
All right, well, Lance, let's go to you. What do you think?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with what Zoe said, but
He wants to see Dean Ambrose wrestle on a thong too.
No, David, no, that would make me vomit. But I'm talking about more what the creative side of things. Because pretty much get rid of most of creative.
And Leo Rush.
As head of creative, and I'm about to show that I'm a member of the Cult of Cornette right now, but as the head of Cornette of creative, James E. Cornette.
I am.
You know, I think
somebody who actually understands the business.
Yeah.
Not the people that think it's damn soap operas. It's damn wrestling.
You know, what I'm going to say is this. I agree with that, but they need the wrestlers that know the business well to be creative. That's how it used to be back in the day. The bookers, the road agents, all were wrestlers. So,
exactly.
But you know what? And one thing I would add in, and we're gonna leave this on this right now. It is a large wrestling faction. We haven't seen any big factions come in and dominate. You know, last big factions we used to have was the NWO, the DX, the Horsemen, and so forth. We need maybe a better done Wyatt family with Bray. At least scarier, more demonic. Go out there and kick ass and make the rosters fear him and all that. We need
God, yes.
Hell yeah.
We need that. It's like a brand new version of the NWO. But with that, fans, we're gonna say thanks for tuning in. It is our hour, and we are up. And plus, the lovely Zoe Nightshade will be on YouTube as well as in a little bit doing her show. Zoe, you want to tell everybody about it while we got them all held captive here?
Of course. It actually will not be on YouTube because YouTube, for some reason, in the horror narrator side of things, they're just really screwing them over. So it's actually going to be live on Facebook over at Nightmare Vixen. It's on Facebook. I'll be going live at 10:30 for a very trippy, scary story. I go live every Friday night from now on at 10:30. That way I can be here with my fellow HWR members as well as all you listeners. And on January 5th, KZW, we have our first show of 2019 down in Monticello. Come out. You guys are not going to want to miss it.
There you go. So with that, fans, we're going to go, and it's time for us to end our conversation. You already heard it from Zoe Nightshade. You can check her out on where?
On the Nightmare Vixen on Facebook.
Okay. And I know they can get in touch with you as well as your other Facebook account, correct?
Of course, you guys can always find me on HWR Facebook page. If not, you can always go over to my fan page at Zoe Nightshade, which is spelled ZOE, not ZOEY.
There you go. All right, Lance, tell everybody about Lance Moss TV.
Well, right now I'm taking a little bit of a break from posting the Friday videos. Just taking a little bit of a holiday break from that. But every Wednesday night, I go live on Lance Moss TV. And friends, I never know who's going to show up. Because sometimes we'll go an hour if there's just a couple people that show up. But hell, we'll go 3 hours if there's a good number of people showing up and the conversation is good. It's basically me and a few friends, up to 10 friends, shooting shit for anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. It's good conversation, good coffee, and, well, good fun. Anyway, you can also hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
All right. And he is the Uber Westchester. Johnny, tell everybody what's going on and what is your show about.
All right, yeah, the Uber Westchester guys. Catch me on YouTube at the Uber Westchester. I do weekly reports of how I do driving in Westchester County part-time. This way you guys can get a gist of it's what you like, if you think it's for you or not. Also, you can also catch me on Instagram at the Uber Westchester, just underscore each word. Best part-time job I ever had. make as much money as you want, work as long as you want, finish whenever you want. You got no bosses, no time clocks, no nothing. Uber, the best thing that ever happened.
All right, and I'm going to throw this out here because they are fans of ours, and they do the same for us. Check out every Tuesday night on 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook. It is BC Games and More BC and the lovely Mrs. A. They're expecting their Player 4 that'll be popping up soon. But you can check them out on Facebook. Just do the hashtag BC Games and More. They talk about everything from retro games, retro comics, and other stuff. So just check them out again, BC Games and More. He is not here tonight, but we're going to push his stuff anyway. He is that son of a bitch, Andy, and he runs Stoked Haunted. So if you like paranormal, if you like shows that are paranormal, those shows from the UK, then check out www.stokedhaunted.com. I am Joseph Scoldred Knight, and you can check me on not only Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Just do the hashtag Scoldren's Realm. You can also find me at my website, scoldrensrealm.com, and as well as Twitter at Scoldren, where I do video game reviews. I do a couple other things, blogs, and so forth. So check me out on that, Scoldren's Realm. And finally, we go to the boss himself. Rick, tell everybody about HWR and what's happening.
Well, first and foremost, before I get on to my little quick promo, Johnny, I'm going to tell you, you know what you should also add is some real fucked up road stories along the way, because you know that's always going to happen. So just throwing it out there for you.
That'd be a good idea.
Oh, I found a few of them. I'm going to have a Uber night next Friday night on my Facebook page.
All right.
Just for Johnny.
Which is the Uber of Westchester?
As you all know, Hardcore Wrestling Radio is all about wrestling. We'll cover everything from news, rumors. I also write my own personal articles, and every Monday night I do Raw play-by-play. So head on over to the HWR chat room, and of course, obviously, we have Four Corner Rants every Friday. So come on over, see what the buzz is about, and if you want to check out some of our archives and other tribute videos that I do, we're over on YouTube.com under the name HWR Show.
All right, thank you, folks. And again, we do have T-shirts. Here comes Lance. Here comes the marketing aspect of it all. We do have T-shirts. We have the Lance Wants TV shirt, the Uber Westchester, Vicious Vixen, Zoe Nightshade, My Scoldren's Realm, the Stoked Haunted, the HWR shirt, and the ever popular what shirt, Lance?
If I can still do it. Buy the shirt!
Buy the shirt, indeed. It is the BTS. Buy the shirt. They come in long sleeve, short sleeve, black, white, red, and blue. So if you're interested in that, shoot us a message on YouTube. Shoot me the message on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Or you can even go on Twitter or go to Scoldren's Realm and order them directly. We like to get the word out. What's that?
Or you can go to his house.
And you can go to my house.
Oh, God, no, don't do that to him.
Unless you're in a speedo.
Exactly. And you're damn good looking. So with that, I'm going to say, folks, thanks again for watching. We will be back here next week to begin the new year, 2019, with an HWR Four Corner Ranch show. And guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been a great 2018. Be safe out there, definitely, if you're going to go celebrate. Don't drink and drive, but smoke all you want when you're home.
And out.
Yeah, and everything else. Be careful if you're going to get someone pregnant. You got to be
Here's
careful.
your piece of advice. Don't do anything that's going to be too embarrassing to explain to the paramedics.
Yeah,
it's happened before.
No, better yet, don't do anything or you're not going to get caught.
There you go.
If you are going to do something stupid, please YouTube it.
Yeah.
And show us, because we like to put it on our show.
Yeah.
And if you are going to drink, call the Uber of Westchester.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
That's
Johnny's
right.
going to have some special bags waiting for you.
Woo! They're all going to say barf on them.
All right, folks. You all have a good night. Happy New Year again. And we will see you next week. Lance?
Buy the shirt! Happy New Year!
You know, does he even laugh like that anymore?
I think that's a WWE thing. They probably flagged that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.